Yes, now you. Yes. Yes, your slides are visible. Now,
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
yes.
So, first, these are the contents of my presentation. And first, I would explain what is qualitative research. Then I will explain the core activities in qualitative research, qualitative approaches, and what are the different methods we would employ while using qualitative research. And when we employ the qualitative research, there are different stages we will discuss at part 5. Then we will choose one of the method which is a very renowned method, and most of the cases the researchers use this method, that is thematic analysis 6 steps model. I will explain in depth this model. Then credibility and validity of qualitative research, challenges and advantages, what are the different software we used, and at the end, the renowned books in this field. So to start from the scratch, what is qualitative research? Qualitative research involves finding out what people think, how they feel, or at any rate, what they say they think and how they say they feel. This kind of information is subjective. It involves feeling and impressions rather than numbers. So, by this definition, you would realize that qualitative research deals with the emotions. So, as an urban planner or as an architect, we deal with the society, we deal with the environment. So, it is very useful for us to understand how the people they think, they behave, and they interact with the environment. That's why qualitative research is very much relevant when we deal with the solution, with the problems, with the built environment, because we deal with the people, we deal with the society. So we can say that qualitative research is a multi-method in focus, involving an interpretive naturalistic approach to its subject matter. What does it mean by naturalistic approach? It means when while doing the qualitative research, we go into the environment in its natural setting, how it is. So we observe it, we interact with it, and by interacting with the society in its natural manner, we extract the information from the natural settings. So qualitative research involves the study, used, and collection of variety of empirical materials, case study, personal experience, introspective, life story, interview, observation, routine, and problematic movement, and meanings in individual lives. So by having this, you can understand that qualitative research deals in depth with the people, with the society, where there are problem, or where there is a phenomena is happening. So whenever we use the word qualitative, there is a debate always grow that what are the other methods, and how the qualitative research is different from the others. So majorly we have quantitative research, we have qualitative research, and another method we called it mixed method. So when we call research, I would not go into the details, but these are the slides which would differentiate all of you the difference between qualitative and qualitative. That's very important, because when you choose the qualitative, you have to know that what are the key indicators and what are the key phenomena that's emphasized and put you to choose the qualitative research. So as per at the left side, there are different indicators. So if we talk about the scientific methods, quantitative research go from top to bottom. It means we have a theory, we have a hypothesis, we prove it whether it is right or wrong or something else. So we go for quantitative. we have some specific, usually we have some specific hypothesis, while in case of qualitative research, that's not. We have data, we have people, we have observations, we deals with them, and then we extract the information, and that's why we call it bottom-up approach. Nature of reality of truth. Quantitative research deals with the material structures. On the other side, qualitative research deals with the mental, personal, and subjective. Quantitative research deals with the search for truth, justification of empirical confirmation. As I said earlier, that there are different hypotheses, there are different theories. We have to nullify it, we have to prove it on either way or on the other way. That's why we use quantitative. While on a qualitative research, we shared with personal experience. We shared the personal behaviors and mental personal constructed. So view of human through behavior, quantitative, regular and predictable, qualitative, situational, social, contextual. Most common research objective, quantitative, numerical description. As we know, if we knew in research, someone asked us what is quantitative, we will say that it deals with the numerics, it deals with the number. On the other side, qualitative research deals with the descriptions. Similarly, interest, that's very important. In quantitative research, our interest is identify general scientific laws, whether it can be mechanical laws, physics laws, inform national policy. On the other side, qualitative research understand and appreciate particular groups. Individuals inform local policy. It might be a marginal group of the society. It might be the low-income group of the society. So if we want to understand those specific group as an urban planner or as an architect, we use qualitative research. So in quantitative research, our focus in narrow angles, testing specific hypotheses. On the other side, it is alternative. Nature of observation, study behavior under controlled condition, isolate the cause effect of a single behaviors. So in qualitative research, we would go into the natural setting, attempt to understand insiders' views, meaning and perspective. Form of data collected, that's very important. In quantitative research, we collect data based on the precise measurement using structured and validated data collection instrument. On the other side, qualitative research, we will go for in-depth interviews, participant observation, field notes, open-ended question. The researcher is the primary data collection instrument. That's on the other side. In quantitative research, we can go for other methods. So nature of data, variables in qualitative, word, images, categories, data analysis, identify statistical relationship. On the other side, qualitative research use descriptive data, search for pattern, themes, and holistic features, appreciate difference variation. So this is the major difference in qualitative and quantitative. I think now you can understand that in quantitative, we explanation through numbers. In qualitative, explanation through words. It is objective, qualitative is subjective. It is deductive reasoning and it is inductive reasoning. What is the difference between deductive and inductive reasoning? In deductive reasoning, we have a hypothesis, we deduct that, and we go to the at the bottom. On the other side, inductive reasoning, we have data, we have observations, we have in-depth field interviews, and by developing the interpretation of that data, we go bottom up. So there are other differences between qualitative and quantitative, and types of qualitative analysis process is less structured, more structured, relies on interpretation, more formalized, inductive and deductive. So The essence of qualitative approach in urban planning and architecture based on probing why and how. These are the two common questions which we deals as a practitioner in the field. Why this is happening, how this is happening, why this society is low income, how why are the different determinants that's limiting them. So qualitative data offer, so the realm of why and how is where qualitative method flourish as urban researchers imply these methods. They don't the mental of detective following trails of the insight that guide them to motivation and intention drive the urban landscape. So from here, with different examples relating to the architecture and urban planning, you would better understand where to use qualitative research. For example, there are three primary issues that planning researchers are missing by pursuing a quantitative research. That's the reason, that's the reason behind that we employed the qualitative research. For example, in quantitative research, we go for what is the age, gender ratio, literacy rate. These are statistics. These are different numbers. On the other side, qualitative research, we observe people in real life or analyze the situation. That's the missing link. That's why we have to go for qualitative research in urban planning and architecture. Quality of life issues. For example, in quantitative research, we deals with the how many people are satisfied with this situation, how many people are dissatisfied, what are their different income levels, and what is the density level. These type of analysis we used. On the other side, in qualitative research, as an urban designer and as an urban planner, we deal with the what is the extent of environmental degradation, health issues, low income people issues. So these are some descriptive forms. You cannot, these explanation can't be done through quantitative research. At the third point, inform illegal activity. For example, in quantitative research, planned versus unplanned area. So 60% planned, 40% unplanned. Urban sprawl, 70% area is urban sprawl. Approved housing schemes, 60% or out of 100, 10 schemes are unapproved, 90 schemes are approved. But what is missing in this? These answers through, we would get this answer through qualitative research. How this sector works, why it happens, what challenges associate with the sector, why the people are low income, what are the reasons that the designs fails, what are the reasons that people choose to go for high rise or why they go for coastal lines. So these are the answer which we will get through qualitative research.
Dr. Abdur,
So here is a classic example. From this you can understand the strength of qualitative research and it's important.
Dr. Abdur Rehman, just 1 second. My voice is clear to you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just want to interact with the students here. So sorry to interrupt. Just like after 2 minutes, you can continue. So did you understand clearly the difference between quantitative and qualitative research? Is it clear? For example, I give you one example. As then I will say urban planning institution or as a Muscat municipality, if they decide that they want to convert Muscat into a high-rise city, for example, just like Dubai, they are already following some trends. They announced this high-rise district in Al Kuwait, where 32-story buildings will be developed. So again, this would be a research question. We are converting Muscat into a high-rise city, for example, but we didn't research how people think about it. Will they like to live in the high-rise buildings or not? Will a traditional Omani family would like to live in a 32-story apartment building or not? So these things, the feeling of the people, we cannot judge through numbers. Like we need to talk to people, we need to understand their feelings, we need to understand their cultural needs, right? This is something that is only possible when we interact with the humans. Otherwise, the same example as I told you in the morning time about like they think this they sat in an office, they thought this intersection is problematic. This is the solution, but again, this is not working because the research was missing. In the same way, whenever you introduce any urban planning policy for the city, so these policies cannot work without involving humans, without taking their point of view. So then this part is covered through qualitative research. Is it clear? So thank you, sir. You can continue.
Thank you, Dr. Adil, for further explaining the importance. So from this classic example, the students will understand further the importance of qualitative research. There was a competition in which there was a project, high density residential dwelling. And that project won the American Institute of Architect Design Award. But what happened? Laterally, it was demolished. So there are two different poles. At one side, there was a project who won the best award, design award. But after the construction or after the development, that building was demolished. Why? Because that building was not meant for the people, to those people. So what happened? So what is the solution? If a qualitative inquiry had been done beforehand, the planner would have found that socially isolated, high density residential dwelling units for low income families do not produce a positive neighborhood. In this classic example, the expense of qualitative research strategy at the onset could have potentially saved millions of dollars spent on housing project and spared thousands of low-income residents from being trapped in socially isolated towers in a park. So by this classic example, now you can realize the importance of qualitative research. If we do the research before designing a project, that this project is for what is the purpose, what type of people would be come in, and how this project would go in the society. We can if we do this research before initiating the project, that would be for the actual people, the targeting people. So in another example, if the research question is about as an urban design or as a landscape architect, if the research question is about how do the children use the playground equipment, so if there is a question, so how we can answer this question? First, through observation, spending time in a park. When we will spend time in a park, we will see that, okay, people, the children go in the park, they use some specific equipment, some specific swings occasionally, and some specific swing oftenly. So another way of method to get the experience through open-ended discussion with the children. We go into the park, we have an informal discussion with the children that what is how you are experience in the park, what you like most, and how much time you spend XYZ. So that's the importance of qualitative research. We get the actual feelings of the object. So after getting about I think enough knowledge about qualitative research, we will go further with the qualitative data analysis. what are the different core activities we performed in qualitative research? So there are 7 activities we usually perform while doing qualitative research. First, literature view. Second, explicating research belief. Core. Third, role of participant. Fourth, selection of participants. Setting for data collection. Approach to data analysis. And at the end, saturation. So literature view. We usually know that we do the literature view before starting a study. But in qualitative research, that's the beauty of the qualitative research. We conduct this before, we conduct this during, and we conduct the literature review after the data collection. Why? Because sometimes when we get the literature view, then we go into the field, then we realize that the data which we collect at the literature view, but when we go into the field, it gives us a different situation and different angle. Then again, we collect that data through literature view. So it gives us a holistic picture. Explicating researchers' belief. It means that if I am a researcher, if you are a researcher, so before going into the field, you will keep aside your personal feeling. Because when I was doing a research, at that time, I was also serving as a director. So I I also have some feelings about my research. My research was basically about affordable housing challenges in a metropolitan. So, but I my feelings I kept aside and put them on a diary. So, what was the purpose? The purpose was to get the real information without any bias, without any personal belief. So, at the second stage, we will bracket our biasness. Subject or informant, as I told you earlier, that in qualitative research, our every participant is very important, and it is viewed as active participant because that participant is expert in that field, or you can say that have enough knowledge. So we will go for selective informants with good knowledge. That's why we see that we say that viewed as active participant in the research. Selection of participant, very important. Whenever you go in the research, that questions comes arise during your, might be in your viva or in your that on what basis you have select the participants. So in qualitative research, the selection method is called purposive sampling. It means that we select few number of people, but with good knowledge, with expertise in that field. For example, if I talk about Oman municipality, and uh, you are having a research about uh, building codes, or you are having a research on land use zoning. So who would be the most important person to get that information to you? Definitely, if a person who is having a post in Oman municipality or in your city, you know better than me, that can tell you more about zoning regulations, the flaws in it, the pros and cons in it, and what other members can be the potential participant. Definitely, uh, your department, specifically the people or professors who are dealing with the particular subject, for example, a housing subject or landscape subject. Similarly, so selection of participant through purpose. what is your purpose? What is the purpose of your research? On the basis of that, you would select the participant. So that's why your participant is not an ordinary people. There are expert and research. There are expert and researcher in that field. That's the rationale. So who would be the participant? Housing experts, government policy makers, director housing. It can be a director housing or housing professors in Oman University or something else. So here is the example in my case that, as I told you earlier, that my field of my research was to explore the housing policy framework in the metropolitan. So here is the framework which I developed. Like, who are the most important and key positions holders from where I can get the information. So at the left side, there are different hierarchy of federal level, right side, provincial level. So there are different key departments working in Pakistan, working in metropolitan with the provision of housing. So first of all, it is very important to map the department, map the stakeholders, map the important people who have connection with your study. So there are different departments, and within the department, you would identify the right persons, like uh, development authority, municipality, housing agency, Ministry of Housing and Works, some setting for data collection. As I told that it is informant driven data analysis. So when you select the participant, you have the data. Then in qualitative research, we have cyclic process. So analysis begin when the data begins. So there are different reading, rereading, analyzing, sometimes called theoretical sampling, generalization, saturation. Very important. If someone asks you that why you select the 10 number of participants for interview, not 12 or not 15. So that's the, you can say that that's the answer, saturation. In qualitative research, we will stop collecting the information when it starts repeating. For example, if you go into the society, you get the information from the municipality, from one officer, he gives you the specific information. You go to the second one, he gives also you the same information or similar information. Then you go to the third expert, it gives you the same or similar information. It means that the information or the questions which you are posing them and the information which you are extracting with them, it starts repeating. It means that is the stage is saturation. So in qualitative research, when this stage arises, we stop the collection of data because now the data is repeating.
Dr. Abdurrahman, I would like to add one thing. I just need again 2 minutes. I just need 2 minutes from your time. I just want to add one thing.
Sure.
Is it clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, it's fine. I will give you one like practical example that I actually experienced in my research group in Belgium. We were a research group of 38 urban designers when we were working on our PhD projects. So there was a big funded project from European Union where few of my colleagues were researching on the city of Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. So they were working on the transformation of their CBD areas, commercial areas inside the city. So I saw like how they worked on the project. and what is the importance of qualitative research, even as an urban designer, as an architect. So they were also involving students actively in those research activities because it was a funded project. They were sending students to Addis Ababa every year in the master and bachelor thesis projects. So I saw exercise. They allocate a street to a group of students. This is the situation of the street. We want you to work on the improvements of this area. So how will you redesign this street, this commercial street? So while sitting in Belgium, students copied very nice, fancy elements of the streets from the European cities. They designed a very nice street. Like they converted that street in the Addis Ababa into a street of Brussels, for example. This was a practical activity that I saw them doing. Then they asked students, now you go to the Addis Ababa because it was a funded project. Now you meet people there. Now you understand their needs. You understand what they want. Then you come back. Now you redesign, right? And I saw like huge differences then when they redesigned those streets. For example, one example, like you design a very nice sidewalk, tree lining, then you put bicycle paths, a beautiful carriageway on the road. But when you go to the field, you see there are a lot of informal sellers on the streets. And they don't want themselves to be removed from the urban system. They want a specific allocated space on the street. So informality is the part of the system in Addis Ababa. So as a designer, you cannot remove it from the system. So like you can draw lines on the softwares, but these lines should be based upon some real knowledge. When they come back, they considered it. We need these spaces of informality in the urban system. Otherwise, the system cannot work. So this is how I'm trying to explain the importance of qualitative research. This is just one element. So there could be many more other things that you understand when you basically visit a system. So Dr. Abdurrahman, yes, you can continue. Please, thank you. And I'm sorry I interrupt you sometimes.
No. That's very good. And because the qualitative research, as you said earlier, that I am trying to explain the as much as I can do. So it is good that you are also sharing the practical insights from the qualitative background. So qualitative, till now we understand what is qualitative research and what are the different stages in it. So now we decided that we will do the qualitative research. So there are 5 different approaches to do the qualitative research. So you can say that we will select one approach as based on upon our objectives. First is ethnographic, second is narrative research, third is case study research, fourth is phenomenological research, 5 is grounded theory research. So there are different approaches. So you as a urban planning or architecture student, you would choose one of them, or you can choose 1 or 2 of them. So there are different approaches. So on what base? So the approaches, you would select the approach based upon your research questions and objectives of your study. For example, in ethnographic research, what we do, we enter in a natural environment to understand how they use the product. For example, if you design a building, it can be possible you make a prototype of that design. So you put them in a room and invite the people randomly. So you sit in a corner and observe what they say about that design. So you will note the different their gossips, and understanding. It can be possible. There is a building, practically existing building, and you go into the lift, and other people are also in the lift. You don't know them, but you would observe that what they are talking about. Someone would say that the lift is not good, the design is very old fashioned, something like. Some would say that the design is very attractive, but this is the deficiency. So you observe the uh, participant as a enter as a participant in a natural setting. For example, if I want to give you another example, if there is a questions that how the child bullying happens, so you go in a bus, you sit in a bus, and you observe that if something is happening there. Second is narrative research. It involves in-depth interviews and document analysis, typically one or two participants. This type of research we usually do when we have to go for in-depth of experience for the long time. For example, you have watched that extensive researchers go into the fields, or sometimes you listen that researchers go into the some forest to observe the habitat, and they live there for 6 months or for much of times. Or it might be possible that you observe, you go with the one or two specific researchers with the long time. So you know that previously he was saying that, after 5 months he is saying that. So you compare with their observations. Case study research, very important, and most of the cases we usually use this type of research while doing qualitative research or as an urban planning or architecture student. During case study research, read several case studies to gain deep understanding of a topic or a theme. Since these are real examples, researcher can find similarity between their businesses and the case study. For example, in my case, I employed this type of research in metropolitan in Lahore. So Lahore was my case study. Lahore is a metropolitan city having more than 10 million population. So Lahore was my case study. So I read about Lahore, I get the literature about Lahore, and the real example, the real department which are working in Lahore, I studied them, and the professionals who are working in Lahore, I interviewed them. So in case study research, you can get the deep understanding of a topic. My topic was affordable housing, so I introspect that topic in every aspect in case of my case study. Similarly, phenomenological research, it combines a variety of research method, interviews and observation, reading and more to help you describe a place, action or process. The perspective of participant, as it analyzes people who have first-hand experience with the activity. And the last one, grounded theory research. As you know, from the word, you can assess there is a word in a theory. So grounded theory, in this research, we get the data from the field. We compare that data with someone existing and previous researches. Then we make an inferences. Okay, that data or that inferences goes or take us to a particular theory. Then we again, you can say, compare it, and then we say that okay, this type of research has already been done, but that angle is missing. Then we again go into the field, and we again, you can say that, collect the different data from different perspective. So in grounded theory, it means that data, within the data there is a theory. So within the data there is a theory. We go back, then we compare it with that theory, we get the different perspective, we again go to the field. So for example, we have selected the case study research. So after selecting the approaches, what are the different methods for data collection? Usually in qualitative research, there are 5 different type of data which we collect after selecting our approach. For example, we have selected the case study. We can employ all of them. We can employ one of them method or in a combination. So it is not mandatory. It depends again our research objective and research questions. For example, uh, if we are dealing with the initially, I will explain that 5 methods like in-depth interviews, to whom with the professionals, focus group discussion, surveys, observation, secondary research. In-depth interviews, we have a long discussion with the professionals of that field. So it is open-ended questions like policymakers of Oman municipality, focus group. In second stage, we invite the professionals in a room. We work as a researcher, work as a moderator in that discussion, and with a brief, you can say that point, we start or initiate the discussion. Then the expert of that field start discussing. For example, uh, you invite people from municipality, Oman municipality, from UPAD department, from NGO sector, who are dealing with the uh, latest or design, architectural design or buildings or building codes in Oman. So you would act as a moderator. So when the discussion arises, you will record the session. So it might be possible the NGO sector personnel would say that we are neglecting the marginal people of society while designing the new uh, 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 buildings. But on the other side, the developer participant would say that it is the need of the hour or it is the demand side. So focus group discussion would be like that. We would record that. So in-depth interview, we also record the whole discussion. Third is surveys. It would again open-ended questionnaires. Observation is that we will simply observe what is happening in a natural setting. Secondary research is a collecting of existing data in the form of text, images, audios, or recording or something else. So it might be possible that if we are want to know about the policy flaws in Oman municipality land use building regulation, so we can only go for in-depth interviews. There is no need to go for survey or observations. So it depends again on your objective of the study. So when we have select the approach, there are different data collection methods, and there are different approaches to qualitative research analysis. After selection, the approaches, after getting the data from the field, from different data collections, then again we have 4 different type to analyze that data. So what is first one? The content analysis. Second was the one is thematic analysis. Third one is textual analysis, and fourth one discourse analysis. And these are common stages in data analysis. First is prepare and organize your data. For example, whatever the data you have collected in the form of interviews, in the form of focus group discussion or survey. First, you prepare and organize your data. What does it mean? You transcribe the data through recordings, you transcribe on a manual, in the text form. Second is review and explore your data. Then you read and reread again and again and again to get the essence of that data. Third is develop a data coding system. Then you would assign different codes to different excerpts. For example, you say that, okay, this deals with housing, this deals with environment. So I would explain in detail after a break. Fourth one, assign codes to the data and identify recurring themes. So what does it mean by codes to the data? We would assign codes like this lines deals with the environment, this deals with the regulations. So we categorize them. And on the basis of our categorization, we identify the recurring themes. So as I said earlier, that after selecting your approaches, after getting the data from the field, you would select the best approach for analysis the data. So you have data in the raw form. So I will explain the most widely used method is thematic analysis. And when it used to identify and the interpret patterns and themes in qualitative data. So I think if we have 10 minutes break or
We can have 10 minutes break. Before we go on break, I would just like to mention one thing because I already shared some journal articles with them as a pre-assessment exercise, and I just want to refer one thing. In one of the journal article, I think Mohammed, you are already reading that article. There is an article about Turkey. The five articles that I shared with you. There is one article. What they did, they relocated people from one part of Turkey to another part. I think the city is Istanbul, right? Istanbul. Okay. Izmir. Sorry, Izmir. In the city of Izmir, what they did, they relocated people from one part of the city to another part, right? But like they want to understand how now people are feeling or how they are feeling their quality of life at the new place. So this is a kind of research question. Muhammad was telling me that, for example, in case of Sultan Hatham city, if they are if in Oman also, people don't like to relocate to these new neighborhoods in Oman, for example. So these are the research questions. Again, in the question related to high-rise buildings that I shared. So we analyze this information through interaction with the people. Again, once we have the information, there are multiple ways how we present information in our research articles. The most simplest way we saw in the article, because it was pretty easy and it is published in one of the very good journals, which is Cities. What they did, they interviewed people, and you will see in that article, they have just interpreted all the information in the form of quotes. So this community member said this director said this, that guy said this. So this is a kind of, again, a textual analysis of the information. But there are more advanced forms in terms of content analysis, in terms of thematic analysis. So there are different approaches that are being used. But this qualitative research is more closely related to the field of urban planning, where we are studying humans, actually, their behavior, their understanding. In my PhD research, I used a mixed method approach. I used quantitative and qualitative both. I have one lecture on that. I will show you my own research also. So, Dr. Abdur, we take 10 minutes break and then we start at 4:15 here according to Oman time, and I think 5:15 according to Pakistan time, right?
sure.
Thank you so much. So I think you can just mute your mic. The rest is fine.
Okay.
Yes. So just 10 minutes, please, because you know Dr. Abdurrahman has his flight to Saudi Arabia after 3 hours. Mashallah, he's going for Hajj tonight. So it was the request to him, please accommodate our lecture. So that is why 10 minutes means 10 minutes, so that we free him on time. Okay, thank you. You want some coffee, tea? Everything is available. Okay. I told you guys earlier at the start, yes, initially, when you enter into the research phase at the start, somehow it feels a bit difficult.
It's also because it's been 8 years since I attended classes.
Yes.
So,
And the long classes.
it's going to take a while for us to get used to it. But
Yes.
everything is fine.
Inshallah, like in these 4 days, we will pass through the whole process, A to Z, then you apply it later on, once your research after this. So different methodologies, different softwares, workshops will make you understand how you pass through the process.
I have a question. Like, so for how you divide it, of course, we have the pre-module and then we have a research that we have to submit at the end. Is what
That's all.
I understand, but when it comes to the research, is it up to us to choose whatever topic it is that we want?
And 100%. Any area of interest that you like, for example, housing,
Mm.
for example, informality, for example, shading elements, anything that you like, you choose and you write a paper on that topic.
So maybe in my case, I can just continue working on the research that I applied for the TRC.
Yes, that would be possible.
And then I just apply the research methodologies that we're going to be learning.
Yes, exactly, that would be possible. In fact, it is very good in your case. And even, I even ask students to continue this research in your thesis. Then you go to the more depth in your thesis. So, like you don't need to work again and again. Why the please take some coffee? I know you guys are now, pretty related thinking.
Because I'm used to sleeping late, so I'm trying to adjust my sleeping schedule. That's what I got.
Format Yes, we can start now. Doctor, we can start now.
Should we start?
Yes, we can start.
Okay, I will try to make this last session more interactive. So the part 6 is thematic analysis 6-step model. Basically, I will try to explain this session through giving you a practical example. So you can say that through a practical exercise, we will learn what is thematic analysis. That's very important. So there are 6 steps of thematic analysis, and this 6 steps and this method was developed by Braun and Clark. First is familiarize yourselves with the data. Whatever the data we get through the interviews, through the observations, through focus group discussion, we will transcribe that data and we will read that data. Transcribe mean we will listen the data and we will write in a MS Word or something in Notepad. So in the first step, we will familiarize with the data, that this data is about, whether it is about housing, whether it is talking about land use rules, building codes or policy. Then in second step, we would generate initial codes. What does it mean? It means that we will generate initial codes that we have a paper of write-up, and on that paper we will highlight different codes. Mean we will highlight that now the interviewer is talking about building regulation. Now he is talking about housing policy. Now he is talking about the beautification. So generate initial codes, then search for themes. In this third stage, on the basis of initial codes, we will develop some themes. We will say that, we can say that this data is talking about environment, this data is talking about environmental degradation, and this data is talking about built habitat or flora and fauna. Then on the fourth step, we review potential themes. Then on the basis of our research, on the basis of our research questions, we review the potential themes. We can say that this, you can say that this is more important for us, this is not important for us. Then define a name themes. So as I said earlier, through a practical example or through a practical exercise, you would learn that what is thematic analysis. In this stage, we will define names and themes. For example, we can say that the building and zoning regulation problems in Oman. Or you can say that the aesthetic design for multi-story buildings in Oman, or what are the deficiencies in the high-rise buildings as perspective of building codes. So at the end, you narrate these themes and produce a report. That report would be your analysis chapter. So this is a summary. Phase 1, data familiarization. Phase 2, generate initial codes. Phase 3, search for themes. Phase 4, review potential theme, determine whether generated themes reflect the integrity of data or not. Phase 5, define the themes. It can be different themes. Phase 6, produce a report. Now the exercise is started. So I would if I would get, if you allow, Dr. Adil, if someone of your student can read the left one, if he can come close to and read the left one. So what is this? The left side is transcript of interview data. We have taken an interview, we conducted the interview, and we transcribed the data, and left side is about transcribed data. So you can say that it is a practical example of myself. I am in the industry for the last 15 years. So back in before 5 to 6 years, I decided that I have to go for PhD. So there were different mixed thinkings, whether I have to go for PhD or whether I have to continue my practical field, or whether I have to continue as a practitioner. So there was a confusion. So there was an interview like questions. So at the left, there is a transcript of interview data. If someone, student can read the left one.
Okay, so the transcript of interview data, I always wanted to get my doctorate, but I never felt I had the time. Then I reached a point in my career where I saw that without the credential, I would never advance to the types of positions I aspired to. But I doubt I could do the work. I wasn't sure I could go back to university after so much time, and did I have the time with working and a family? These were the things I struggled with as I looked for the right program.
Stop a bit. Stop. Now you can understand that what this transcription is about. So if there is a mid-career professional who is running in the field, but he is thinking about to get the professional degree. So these were his thoughts. Okay, continue.
Finally, starting the program with others like me, it felt surreal once you switch gears from being an established administrator at a college to being doctoral student.
Yeah.
You realize you lose control over your life. You are not in charge in that classroom like you are in your office, but also once you say you are a doc student, people look at you differently, and people at work began to take me more seriously, ask for my opinion as if I possessed special knowledge because I was going for the doctorate. It was the same information I had shared previously, but somehow it had a special quality. It's like magic. I can't think of a particular example right now.
By the way, on a lighter note, I think it's a kind of feeling of all of you, because right now you are coming back from the opposite to the academic life again. And you are again in the classroom, and maybe I think it is a feeling of everyone right now sitting there.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
for
That's why.
one of our master students, I think he's working from 13 years in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning. So he's
Okay,
back
that's great.
to the classroom, so maybe it fits more towards Muhammad and also towards Ahmed. He is also working on many other things. So you actually made us emotional by this text.
I think it's a true picture of ourselves, the person who are in the field. So that's good to hear. So in the second para, and it was mix of emotions, and and people at work began to take me more seriously, ask for my opinion, as now I possessed special knowledge because I was going for doctorate. And at the end, he is saying it's like a magic. So in first para, there was a doubt. In second para, there was a transitional phase. And at the end, he said it's like a magic. So we have this transcription. So these are, you can say that in qualitative research, that's the beauty of qualitative research. We go for in-depth discussion. So first, at the first stage, we make the person to whom we are interviewing, make him comfortable. Then he gives his heart's feelings, and these are the heart feelings and heart narrations of someone's like me or someone's like your students who are working in the field. Okay, so the first stage, left one, is become familiar with the data. So left one is raw data, and the right side, some portion of this transcript unusable or irrelevant. Like, sorry, it's wrongly right purple, it is red. Like, for example, during the session, we go for some pause. So these are irrelevant, we would delete it. And at the end, at the last line, I can't think of particular example right now. So he was talking to himself, become very senti, you can say that. So we would remove that one. Okay. Step 2, generate initial codes. So first one was the raw data. We would, and the which section data broadly familiar, red for credentials. So we generate initial code. We divide that discussion in 3 different codes. For example, red one described for credentials. I always wanted to get my. Then I reached a point in my career where I saw that without the credentials. So in red part, he is talking about credentials. In blue, blue for personal struggles. What is personal struggle? But I doubted I could do the work. I was not sure. So these are doubts. So we codes them in blue. At the end, in green. Green, shift in identity. That's the beauty. That first, red, there were credentials, what he wants to. In blue, there were personal struggles. But in green, when he became a doctor, he said, I was the information I had shared, but somehow I had special quality. It's like a magic. Now, when you become, after your MPhil, or I pray most of you become a doctor. So after the doctorate degree, you would definitely say it's like a magic. So it's second stage, we generate the initial codes. So there are different codes. By codes, we meaning that we would separate our different transcript based on their initial coding may include as many as 30 categories, reduce codes. It might be possible. First, we make codes, but it might be similar. So we club them. It might be possible that the club code have different meaning, then we disintegrate them. So coding process, search for themes. Now the third step of thematic analysis, red for credentials, blue for personal struggles, green for shift identities. So these are different. We then from red, blue, and green, we extract the themes. What can be the themes? For example, red is describing about career advancement. I wanted to get. I reached in a point. So blue, what are the themes hidden in it? Self-doubt, time management. So these are themes which are hidden in the blue. And what are the themes hidden in the green? We will search them. Green for shift in identity. Code include identity at work, shift in control. Now we are expert. Chunks of related data separate meaning coded in several cycles. So again, these are in the slides, the different codes which have similar meaning, we will club them and we will again disintegrate them based on their based on our objectives of the study. Step 4, revisit theme. Like in third part, we have categorized or we have identified different themes. Then we revisit the theme. What is the method to revisit the theme? When we identify the themes, we read again and again. Then we said that, okay, blue for personal struggle, begin to see that getting the degree, becoming a new person, personal achievement. So there are different themes like getting the degree, becoming a new person, personal achievement. So these are further themes, we revisit them. Now, can again, Dr. Ahmed, can your student again read this?
The green part or the blue part?
Both. First green part.
Okay, now please, Animal, can you read?
Team number 1, the degree is greater than the sum of its parts from candidate to graduate.
Okay, stop. So the whole story summed up in this theme 1. When you passed from a transition phase and you get the degree, you will forget every your hindrance or every difficulties. And I hope so you would all of you become definitely inshallah. Like theme 1, the degree is greater than the sum of its part from candidate to graduate. So what this raw data now from different processes. Theme 1, this transcribed part is summed up in theme 1. The degree is greater than the sum of its part from candidate to graduate. Okay, now, as I said earlier, what is the last step? Last step of thematic analysis is, what is the last step?
Use the report.
Produce the report. Now we have reached at 5th step, define and name the theme. We have defined the themes and name it. What is the theme? The degree is greater than the sum of its part from candidate to graduate. Now we would, in your analysis chapter or in your analysis part, you would write this as theme 1 as your heading. Now you would produce the report based on this theme. So can you, now as a researcher, I will write it as an interpretation or as in a report writing form. Can you read the last one, blue one?
As one participant stated, the doctoral process is complicated. Each individual expressed similar sentiments as they described their first impressions of their coursework and the eventual evolution to dissertation research as separate parts of doctoral program. They seemed manageable, but when viewed as a whole program, they seemed overwhelming. The consensus, however, was that each program component informed the next is a way that defined description and prepared them for this dissertation process. As one participant expressed, my understanding of what the degree means was not clear until I stepped into my defense. I had a moment when I realized that now it all makes sense.
Thank you. So we have conducted the study. We have selected the participants who were in the mid-career of their professional development and who were curious about uh, their higher study. So we selected the theme based on their transcription. The degree is greater than the sum of its part from candidate to graduate. Now, as a researcher, I write that explanation and produce the report. So this is the raw part of the participant. And as a researcher, I interviewed from the persons who were in their mid-career professionals. And this is my part. Based on their interviews, based on the thematic analysis at the end, now I produce the report or produce the para. Like as one participant said. So the inverted comma, that's very important. So how we would write the report, we would use some of their quotes in our report to make the report or make the analysis or make the report enrich. For example, when I am writing, I would say, as one participant said, inverted comma, the doctoral process is complicated. That's line, as it is, we quote them. So this line is from the participant. Again, explanation of the theme, which we have extract through the process. At the last, again, there are inverted commas. My understanding of what? So these are the exact words of the person to whom we have interviewed. My understanding of what the degree meant was not clear until I stepped into my defense. I had a moment when I realized that now it all makes sense. Comma closed. It means we would write a report with a combination of different transcript, with the combination of excerpts from the interview. So what's your thought about it? How this process we have conducted? Is it easy, interesting, or how you find it?
Anybody have any thoughts? So, Dr. Abdurrahman, I will like answer your question a bit. This qualitative research, obviously, like in their previous academic life, they have never touched it, but right now they are going through some articles. And there is, as I mentioned, there is one relevant example that I already shared with them through an article that is published in Cities, where like the people were relocated from one part of the city to the other part, and then they interviewed people, and then they put their thoughts, their problems, their complications in the research paper. Sometimes because in the research paper they also use quotes, like exactly what have been said by the people. They put it in the form of a quote. Sometimes they are explaining it more, the researchers, in their own words. So I see the relevance of this part with the practical example of the published article. So I believe when they will go through some qualitative research examples, they will understand it a bit more. So anything that you want to add?
I think at the end of the session, we would have a more interactive discussion then. Now, should I continue? Okay.
One student wants to say something. Please.
Actually, it's not related to the topic, but I just wanted to pray for Allah to bless you in your coming Hajj, inshallah, and pray for us to become doctors as well.
I think you are very far from the mic.
Yeah, he does.
He didn't listen. If you want to say, you can. So, you listen to it, doctor?
I cannot understand, I think.
Yes, actually, the mic is too far. You can continue, then in the end we can have some.
Okay. That would be better, I think. So credibility and validation. So very natural and obvious. Credibility, qualitative research is generally, there is a general consensus that qualitative research is credible. Why? Because we get the information from the right persons who are experts in that field. So he is the most credible person because we have selected the participant through purposive sampling. So that's why if someone is Minister of Housing Oman is saying something like about housing, then definitely it's credible because he has a portfolio. He is sitting or he's having some important seat. So if he would say about any policy or he would say comment on anything about new projects or flaws, then we have to give them it weightage because he holds a prominent position in that. So for validation, we usually go for triangulation method. What is triangulation method? At one step, we have in-depth interviews. We have the information from the interviews. On the other side, we analyze the literature part, government part. So if the government part is also saying that this policy exists, in-depth interviews also gives us the notion about that. And peer reviews. Peer reviews is about the different persons who are working in the same fields. You shared this research with them and they give the feedback. So we through triangulation we validate the qualitative research. So getting good qualitative results depends on the quality of data collector. Definitely, as I said earlier, the researchers have to be well conversant about their research, the quality of data analyzer, the quality of the presenter and writer. Challenges and advantages. Definitely, challenges in qualitative research is complex, time consuming because it records the event in its natural setting, and definitely it lack of numerical precisions. It is not about 2 or 3 or 4. It can be in narrative form. It looks very beautiful. This building is like something else. It has that height, something like that. Advantages, flexibility. So the data collection analysis can be adapted and new ideas. They are not rigidly decided before. So when you go into the field while collecting that qualitative data, so it is flexible. You are open-ended, and at the time of your collecting data, you can make the decisions at once. Natural settings, definitely the advantage of this research is that it solves the real life time problems while happening in natural settings. What is happening around us, how the urbanization is going on, how the different uh, uh, zoning regulation implemented in the field, meaningful insights, generation of new ideas. Definitely, close-ended response, you have already marked that responses. But in qualitative research, the beauty of qualitative research, during the research, you get very new ideas because when you are interviewing a housing expert or something else, he can give you many new dimensions which you have not been aware about, known about before. So, quantitative research, we have many softwares, but in qualitative research, we also have softwares. The famous ones are Nvivo, MaxQDA, QuickCos, Dovetail. I used Nvivo software in my research. What Nvivo do? It simply you can say that all the process thematic analysis, the process which I have explained before you, it can help you in arranging the data, in categorizing the data. So you can say that Nvivo is a software which helps you while doing the analysis. But to use the Nvivo, you have to be expert. You have to know about you have to be very clear about your research questions. You have to be very clear about your you can say that you have to be very clear about the why you have selected that qualitative methods. So while using Nvivo, you can make different inferences. So there is a general question, or there is a perception which I get while giving lectures, that people who use quantitative, they use many colorful graphs, pie charts, something else. While using qualitative, we have more narrated analysis. But there is a, you can say that there is also a room for beautification and beautiful pictures in qualitative as well. Like, this is a word cloud analysis of my research, of my PhD research. While using Nvivo, word cloud means that all the interview data I recorded, I put that data in my Nvivo software, and I applied different queries based on my research questions, and this was the output results. And this map, this picture shows that my topic, as you can say, that the most used word in my research was housing, then affordable. So by, on the basis of their sizes, you can understand the extent of data used in your qualitative research, or extent of data you have interviewed. So the density, or you can say that the boldness of every word have its impact. Like housing, the major one, then affordable, government, income, as my research word mostly deals with the affordable housing, and government policy or governance. So these are the words you would see in this word cloud illustrating themes. So this is the output. There are any others, also there are other maps. So as a qualitative researcher, if you use these type of pictures in your papers, that's a very high chance for publications.
And I saw actually these kinds of word clouds in many published papers.
Yes. That's very easy to make, but have very high impact while your publication. These are important books. I would pass on to Dr. Ahmed, and mostly renowned books in qualitative research. And at the end, I would also want to give 2 minutes a video.
Yes.
Can you see this?
Yes, we can see your screen. This is Nvivo software.
Yes. So it's a short video. This would explain you how Nvivo works in a quickly. So keeping in your mind the 6 steps as I explained you earlier. So how Nvivo helps you gathering the data, recording the data, and interpreting the data. So these are the, you can say, we have stored all our interviewed data in a transcribed form in folders in Nvivo. It can be write-up, it can be photographs, it can be a social media, something else, or it can be recordings. So all of your data, we will store all our data in Nvivo. So here is how, after storing the data, how the analysis would work. Now you can see that. So these are the transcription of after the interview, transcribed data. Now you have seen that we identify the different themes, we had identified different codes, and all the data related to that codes, we shift in that folder. Like initially, examining the data, we expect that it is talking about environmental change, it is talking about water quality, it is talking about development. So this is the stage of revisit the theme. Like we have identified different themes. Now we revisit them, and again, like you can see reference 4.52 coverage. This is talking about environment degradation. This is talking about fishing. This is talking about in water. Now you can by this you can quickly, you have gone through the process uh, while using Nvivo, and the important thing is that you can use your qualitative analysis with and without software. So important thing is that you have to learn how and what are the different processes and stages in qualitative research. So as you see in the video, initially there were different nodes, there were different codes, the different themes. When he revisited the theme, he reorganized. So that's the beauty of Nvivo software. It's all from my side. Any questions? Welcome.
You are playing the last video because I see. Are you playing something?
No, I played.
Okay. So any question from your side, any confusion? I will clarify also many things with through examples also. But up till now, if you have any confusion, clear? So we know that Dr. Abdur Rehman, your day is very busy. So
Yes.
uh, so a big thank you from our side to you. Have a nice flight to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank
for
you.
nice lecture. So I have already recorded the session. So
Okay.
I will share the recording with students and with you also. And I know that Nvivo is a kind of software, you need a complete training for that software.
Yes. Yes.
Because it is being widely used like in the PhD research who are dealing with the qualitative research. So might be initially it could be a kind of like difficult thing to understand at the first look, but you understand it as you use it in your research. So once again, thank you so much. If you have any question to us, you can ask us. Are you listening?
I cannot understand.
Okay, then I think there was a problem. So I am saying thank you so much for your time, for your efforts, and we wish you safe flight to Saudi Arabia. And regarding Nvivo, yes, it is not an easy software to grasp it just in few minutes. You need a lot of experience and you need to spend
Yes.
time. Then you become expert of the analysis. So like they will learn things over time. Thank you so much once again for your time and effort. If you have any
Thank you.
specific question to us, you can ask.
Thank you. At the end, I would like to add, yes, Nvivo is a different, difficult and lengthy software, but the beauty of qualitative research is that you can do the qualitative research without using Nvivo. Nvivo is like you can say that helping tool. It can be your helping tool, but it is not necessary. There are many researches, there are many publications, there are many PhD theses who are passed who published without using any software. So you have not to be worried about different software, but the most important thing is that you have to learn, you have to understand what is qualitative research, when and how we have to use it. That's most important. So the software is always for to assist us, but these are not to guide us. So as a researcher, when we are clear in our focus, when we are clean in our objectives, we can go and we can do the research without any software. So you have not to worry about it. And thank you for Dr. Ahmed Adil for inviting me and to share my practical industrial as well as my research experience with your students. And I wish you all of you good luck for your studies and bright future. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
And
you so
if
much.
you have any question and query, you can pass on to the Dr. Ahmed. And also I would forward the presentation as well as the different books related to qualitative research. If you want to know in-depth knowledge about qualitative, that would be helpful about you. Thank
Thank,
you. Thank you very much.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.